Hey, Tommy 80 with the WriteBack here. What I want to go over first today is I want to talk about the trade appraisal. Now, there's a couple of different kinds of trade appraisals out there. There's mine, it's called the WriteBack, and there's yours. This works for any of them. I don't know of one that it does not work for. But if a customer comes in, you know they've got a trade, what do we need to do if we want to sell them something? They've got a trade, yeah, we've got to appraise the trade. So if it's in the back of a pickup or on the back of a trailer, it's going to be a motorcycle, right? Razor, something like that, ATV. What do we need to do? Unload it. This business, if you want to be a good salesperson, it's built on assumptive selling. I assume if you come into my store and you deal with me, I assume I'm going to sell you something. And so since it's assumptive selling, let's unload your trade. No, I don't tell the customer this. Let's unload your trade and see how good I am at selling you something, and then I need to close. So we have to unload the trade in if it's in the back of a truck or it's on a trailer. Even if they say, oh, I'm not ready to do something right now, no problem, let's get it unloaded. So then I'm going to grab my trade appraisal, and this is it right here. Doesn't matter if it's mine or yours, you have to fill out the trade appraisal. And what we're going to do, we're going to walk with the customer out to their trade, and we're going to walk around it. We're going to do a silent walk around. And that silent walk around is where we're not picking their trade to pieces, but we just touch a few worn things. I mean, pretty much every worn thing that there is. If there's a tear in the seat cover, you're going to touch that. Bald tires, you're going to touch those. Worn out brake pads, you're going to touch those. We're devaluing their trade without ripping it apart verbally. That's all we're doing. So now I'm going to show you close up so you can see this now, what we're saying to the customer as we go over this. I'm going to break this down in sections for you. And this is just like the customer is right in front of me. And then after I do the entire thing, I'm going to tell you why I did it the way that I did it. Today's date, it is February, what is it? I think it's the 18th. My name's Tommy, T-O-M-M-Y. And I'm sorry, what's your name again? Oh, it's George Smith. Okay, George Smith. And is your wife going to be on this also? No, she's not, okay. And that's a 2002 Honda Sierra 450. It's red, no miles on it. Do you have an hour meter on that? Nope, okay. And the VIN number, could you read off the VIN number for me? Okay. Do you have a title on this? You do, great. Do you have it with you? No, you don't. Okay, do you owe any money on this? And where is the title at? Oh, the lender's got it, okay. Who is the lender on this? Wells Fargo? Reliable Credit? What's the balance owed? How'd you get that? Did you call them recently? Okay. Are you the original owner? Has it had a collision or any mechanical damage? Has it been serviced regularly? Has it been advertised for sale? Are you selling this to us as is? Does it have a theft protection device? Does it have an extended warranty? Does it have tire and wheel protection? Okay, now I did the first half of this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back over some of this stuff and explain to you why I did it. Obviously, this information here, we want their personal information on who's trading this in. But then, is there a title? Yeah, a lot of states, this matters. If there's no title, you may not have a deal. Do they have the title on them? Well, there's a lot of interesting places that people keep their titles, and quite often they lose them. Do they owe any money on it? Where is the title? How much do they owe on it? Who'd they get the loan from? If there is a loan on it. I like to know who the lender was, because was it a strong, reputable lender like maybe Wells Fargo, Chase, something like that? Or is it one of your little mouse houses or a pawn shop, something like that, that's holding it 28% interest? Are you the original owner? It makes them think, hey, this is a 4-owner machine. It's going to devalue it. Is it going to devalue it? Yeah, it's going to take the value down a little bit. They know that. Has it had any mechanical damage or a collision? Well, if it's dirt bike, yeah, pretty good chance it's had a collision with the ground, especially if it's mine. Has it been serviced regularly? Most of them, no, they haven't. They know that no matter what they say. That's going to devalue it automatically. Has it been advertised for sale? Yes or no? They put it on Craigslist or something else. Nobody else wants it. It's overpriced. Are you selling it to us as is? Who doesn't sell them as is? But it makes them think, man, am I the only one that's selling my bike to them as is? I didn't know people traded these things in with warranties. Does it have a theft protection device? Is that going to set your F9 manager up to sell them a little theft protection later on? You bet it is. Does it have an extended warranty? Same thing. They're going to think, man, maybe it'd be worth a little bit more money if it had a warranty. Does it have tire and wheel protection? Once again, same thing, going to be worth a little bit more money. So now, next we're going to go down to the lower half. Okay, the lower half of the appraisal sheet. The left side, this is for your appraising manager to put anything there. Unless you find out it's got a blown engine, you know the tires are flat, the brakes are shot. You could write a few of those things down there, but typically a salesperson doesn't put the estimates there to repair these things. So this is left up to the appraising manager. Now this over here, numbers 1 through 10, these are just so you can give some quick marks onto the condition of this trade-in. The body, nothing, oh, by the way, before I go, nothing is ever a 10. Anything in your showroom is not a 10. So you can't have all 10s there, no 10s there, maybe unless there's 2 brand new tires on it with 0 miles. So typically you're going to fall into the range of maybe like a 5 to 7, something like that. And you don't ask them how they'd rate it, but you just start rating it. And you don't tell them, but you make sure, remember, they're standing there with you as you're filling this out. So the body, if there's a few scratches on it, maybe a 7. Controls, check your clutch and brake levers. Wheels, are they dinged up or are they great? Tires, how are they? Lights, gauges. Make sure everything's working here. Remember, you're devaluing this thing without ripping it apart. Engine, does it at least start up? Are there any oil leaks on it? Transmission, shift through all the gears, suspension good, fork seals good, electrical, frame, fenders, brakes. You get the idea. You circle those there. It's just a psychological thing. That's all you're doing. And then the rest down here, this is for the sales manager. Sales manager can initial that, appraising manager if you have one also. What date was it appraised? What's the NADA value, eBay value, NPA value, and wholesale book? How much recon does it need reconditioning? What's the ACV? ACV is actual cash value. So what are you what's the dealership really going to pay for it? This is just for managers down here. What's retail book on it? And what's the retail price? We have all that down there because after you take something in on trade, we want to make sure that, or you want to make sure that you can justify why you paid what you paid. And especially when you have it 6 months later, a year later, you can say, well, at the time, they were selling for this on eBay, book was this, and then you could go over to NPA and buy one for this. So you can back up your appraisal. That is the appraisal and how one works.